y'all. I'm Elisa.
And I'm Samantha.
And welcome to Watch for Deer. Hi, guys.
Hey.
We have something super fun for you all today.
I'm not 100% sure what it is, but she cannot stop smiling. So my thought is it's going to be the most gruesome murder this side of the East Coast.
Let me insert a trigger warning right here.
Because when she comes in smiling like that, I need to go ahead and start crying.
It's usually super morbid.
So go ahead and tell me, because I don't even know.
You will be so relieved today to find out that this is going to be our first ever Deer Tales. So these are our listener tales that we are going to share on the podcast. Mm-hmm. And we hope that you enjoy them.
Are they anonymous?
Some of them are, some of them aren't.
Okay.
So I'll let you know when I...
So I have a question. Now I have a bunch of questions. Because you and I have talked about doing this several times.
For sure.
Did you change some of the names just in case like they are anonymous?
Yes.
Okay.
So the ones that wanted to be... And some of them wrote in as an alias. Mm-hmm. So it's already changed.
Yeah.
Some of them were like, oh, hey, you can use my name. But yeah, some of it... we're using fake names.
Okay.
Because, you know.
Okay.
So these are, these Deer Tales are all going to be based off of paranormal and like ghost stories, strange things that happen.
I'm super excited because I love not getting much sleep at night.
I know. I'm so excited.
Do you know,
so excited.
Have you seen, like I was on TikTok the other day and this guy set up his camera or something. I don't know, or she did, but he was like, I get sleep paralysis.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I've heard of it, but I didn't know. And apparently, like he's laying there, he's sound asleep, and I'm doing air quotes through this whole thing. He's sound asleep, but he's like, like that. And then she goes over and she starts shaking his arm, and she's like, wake up. And he's like, you know, and she's like, wake up. And she raises him up and all this stuff. And finally he wakes up. And then he was like, I knew I was here and I couldn't do anything. And I was asleep and I couldn't move my body and all this stuff. Like, so is that real, Elisa?
Sleep paralysis is real.
I don't know. That guy seemed like he was full of shit to me.
He might have been full of shit, but sleep paralysis is an actual thing.
Yeah.
It's an actual thing that happens is you're awake, but you can't wake up. Like you're awake, you're awake, but you cannot move.
Okay, that sounds like a little bit like locked-in syndrome to me. Have you ever heard of that? Mm-mm. Okay, locked-in syndrome is like... it's so bad I don't even want to talk about it. But it's when somebody gets a TBI, right? A TBI, a traumatic brain injury. Yeah. And they're at their right mind and they know everything that's going on and they want to respond and everything.
But they can't.
They're completely paralyzed to the point that they can't even blink.
That's terrifying.
So they're locked in to their bodies. Yeah. They know exactly what's going on.
They can't move. They can't talk. They can't communicate. That's kind of the way the sleep paralysis is.
So if that apparently is a thing, that actually may be one of the most horrifying things I've ever heard of in my life. And that guy was like, like that. I don't know. I think he was faking it. I think he was full of crap.
He could have. I mean, I know a lot of these TikTokers do stuff just to get views and downloads, but sleep paralysis is an actual thing.
Oh, well, I'm going to do TikTok with you in a little bit. You don't even know about it. I'm going to drag your dead ass body across the floor with a bottle of wine here in a little bit. Yeah, your tongue lolled out, and I'm gonna be like, yeah. We just had to find our TikTok for that one.
Yeah, go find it. Watch for Deer Podcast
at gmail.com. Also,
it's email.
Oh, whatever. Shoot. Let's talk about the Watch for Deer podcast fan.
Yes.
TikTok.
So I was. We were.
Have we talked about this?
No,
before?
we haven't actually, and it just so apparently on TikTok I got a notification from someone has created a Watch for Deer podcast fan page.
So, but you sent me a screenshot of the fan page.
Yes.
And you were like, what is this?
Did you do this?
Yes.
And
I was like, well, I don't even know what that is,
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know who it is. And so we thought it was somebody from around here.
Yeah.
That had done, like, they're doing, like, they're taking our pictures and stuff and putting it with
like
music.
A fan page.
Like a fan page.
Yeah.
And did you message them?
I did. I messaged them. Yeah. And I was like, hey, want to know who our biggest fan is? And they replied and they said that they were 25 and from Florida. I'm not going to use a name just for, anonymous sake.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they do like video mashups of what we put on our TikTok, and right under their headline, it's like, go follow Watch for Deer podcast. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of, at first I was a little leery of it, just because people always try to hack and, sabotage things, but it seems legit. So,
well, I will say, like, it does make me, and this is no offense to anybody, and I love it, but being from where I am and who I am and stuff, and we do this, and it's literally like I'm just sitting here talking to you. At this point anymore, I don't even realize that we have headphones on, a microphone,
and that we're recording
all this equipment.
Yeah,
we're just talking.
It's just natural.
So, like, when I saw that, I did get a little leery of it.
I did too. I was like, what?
I
was like, somebody's hacking us. Please don't hack us.
So I put us into Chat GPT or Copilot. I don't remember which one it was. And I know for a fact that Copilot knows who I am, because I use Copilot to help me come up with, like, if you're like, hey, let's, a name of an episode, and I'll tell Copilot, this is what we did and all this stuff. Not all the time, like 2 or 3 times. And I like Copilot for ideas, for school. Like Copilot, I've used it so much that it knows me. Yeah. I think I used Chat GPT for this, but I sent you the screenshot of it. Yeah. And I just asked it, like, what is Watch for Deer podcast? And it came back with all these hunting shows, and I knew that whenever we started it and people were going to be like, Watch for Deer.
That's what I thought too, but it's okay.
But then I texted, or I typed it in, and I was like, no, Chat GPT, it's not a deer hunting show. It's a podcast with 2 best friends. What can you tell me about it? And it was like, oh, Watch for Deer podcast with Elisa and Samantha. It literally said that. It was like, absolutely, I know what you're talking about. And it said something along the lines of, it's a podcast from, with Elisa and Samantha, 2 best friends who talk about their daily life. They tell you a scary story. Their whole thing for Watch for Deer is that's Appalachian for I love you. So when they tell you these stories, it's not just to scare you, but it's also, hey, watch out for this.
Watch out, we love you.
Yeah, this is happening. And so it said that, and it was like, and it's really growing a cult following. That's what it said. And I called Elise, and I was like, did you know?
We have a cult?
We have a cult following, which I guess maybe I should have realized that, because sometimes I get stopped at the Walmart, at the dollar store, if we skip a week.
Or getting the medicine at the Valley Health.
Yeah. And they're like, when are you putting out another episode? Yeah. And we're like, we're trying our best. We're
working on it. We are working on it. So
we have a small cult following.
We always talk about these cults, and it's funny because now, like, AI's like, yeah, you got a small cult following. So,
And then Elisa
crazy.
And I also went live on TikTok the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she went live on TikTok, and she sent me
an invite.
Yeah. I've never done TikTok before, but I was like, what?
I've never
whatever.
done TikTok live, but whatever.
I had my Jami shirt on, my pajama shirt.
Yep.
I had my PJs, Jami, whatever. Shirt on. Didn't have my hair. I mean, it's all long and straggly or whatever, but I just thought that me and you were going to get on there, and just for a few minutes, we're trying to figure it out.
We are.
We would like to do some TikTok lives. We're going to do some TikTok lives.
Yeah.
And, it's just me and you, Elisa, working, and we're trying to figure it out. Well, some people, just, not a lot, but a few people jumped on. No big deal. Next thing I know, I look up, and we have like 2,000 hearts, which may not be big to you, but to us, that's
pretty
humongous.
Cool. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Then we're asking our listener, some of the people, we're like, okay,
having conversations. Yeah. Because that's what I want to use the platform for, is to communicate with our listeners, for them to ask questions and us to talk to them and just build that sisterhood.
Yeah. And I really liked being on there too, because I was like, okay, so what does this mean? How do we do this? How do we get it to a split screen instead of all of this and all this? And they're helping us. And it's fantastic. And then we get off of, and like 5 minutes later, I sent Elisa a message, and I was like, oh my God. And she's like, what? And I said, Elisa, now I need you all to sit down for this. Are you ready?
Hold your butts.
Ready? How much money we made?
Hold your butts.
On our little TikTok. And I didn't even expect to make money.
Because I got a notification too.
Yeah. After I told her this, she went and checked. We made 8 cents a piece.
We made 16 cents.
That is the first profit.
Our first revenue.
That we have ever made. And when I tell you that 16 cents put a drive in us like you would not believe, I was like, what? I could almost buy bubble gum.
I mean, it really is like it's cool because we enjoy doing this. We love doing this. And I know podcasting is so oversaturated. I get that. You know, I'm just like everybody else. It would be amazing to do this full time and to be able to bring better and more in-depth content than what we do now, because we do work full time. We're I'm a full-time mom. We do pageants and baseball, and so I'm always busy, and I do try to research and everything as much as I can, but it would be so cool to do this full time.
I mean, it would be absolutely
maybe
amazing
one day
to do this full time, and one day it may happen for us and it may not, but we just enjoy it so much.
Yeah, just it's a reason for us to hang out together.
But when I tell you all that 16 cents lit a fire up under our asses, you would not believe.
I feel like we need to take 16 cents, like once we do a payout.
I don't even know how to pay it out. At least I don't even know how to cash it in.
Just do it through PayPal and hook it to
an
account.
Can you show me? Like,
yeah.
I really don't know how to do it.
But we need to take that 16 cents and we just need to put it on the wall somewhere.
I mean,
like
honestly,
first revenue.
Yes,
like, we're
seriously.
not even spending it.
You know how people put their first dollar up on the wall? I just want to put a dime, a nickel, and a penny up on the wall and be like, we made it.
Watch for Dear podcast revenue.
Here we go. And maybe one of these days in like a year or two, you never know. Yeah. We may be like 16 cents. Guess who made $16?
That's right. That's right.
Dollars.
We can go get a pizza from the Geno's.
2 pizzas from the Geno's.
Yeah. Okay. So that's fun. That's a little update that we have for you guys. But just if you are on TikTok, be sure to go follow our TikTok, because we are going to start utilizing that platform a lot more than what we have been.
And two, I will say we have 35 reviews. We have 35 or something
5-star reviews.
5-star reviews. But here's the kicker on that. We have hundreds of listeners. So what's up? Can you not take like 2 seconds? Seriously, 2 seconds. Do it for me. I write these stories. Elisa writes these stories. Mm-hmm. Just go write a review and be like, you girls are hilarious, or I love you, or honestly,
and
you
the reason
suck.
being is the more reviews that we get, the more people Spotify will push our content out to, and it helps us get noticed quicker, and it gives us a wider audience. Yeah. So go write a review. Let us know that you love us.
Yeah, we do
it for free. If you don't like us,
just
just don't worry about it.
I don't. You know what I said? You know what? If you don't like us, say you suck. You know.
Suck. And
but
be like,
if you're
we're okay.
But if you're going to say you suck, just know that you have to say why we suck.
Yes.
You have to give us an explanation. Also, know that when you do write that, if you listen to our last podcast, we don't care.
Yeah, we don't care.
We don't
just
care.
tell us why we suck. Maybe it's something we can improve on.
Yeah. You know that I'm not going to put too much into it, though, because if I suck, you suck.
Yeah. All right, so let's get on to our first deer tale of the evening.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
So this one actually was sent to me by Jade. What's up, Jade? He sent this to me a while back, and this story was actually written in a book. It's called Boo, a collection of true ghost stories. This book was written by Lisa Cook, so you can find that and read this story. But he sent this to me, and he wanted to have us use this on our Deer Tale episode.
Okay, let's do it.
So this one is called The House on the River. Let's see, all of this brings me to a large 2-story house that overlooks the Ohio River in our hometown. The house was built in the 1800s and was a typical white farmhouse-style home common in that time period. One of their colleagues grew up in the home and had a host of stories involving strange occurrences. They went to school with him and his 2 brothers and could remember the house from their high school days. All the boys in the family were athletes and often hosted sleepovers for their friends. However, many of the other athletes didn't like to stay in the house due to the activity that often happened during the night. In most homes, ghostly activities stop when company arrives, but the ghosts in this house seemed to enjoy the attention and often acted up when the house was full of visitors.
Okay, stop. What do you mean it often stops when company arrives?
You mean it starts when company arrives?
I thought you said it often stops when company arrives. You said it often stops.
Activities stop when in most homes, activities stop when company arrives.
Yeah.
But the ghost in this house seemed to enjoy the attention. So it liked to show out.
Mm-hmm. Just like in Beetlejuice. Remember when they were sitting around the table?
Yes.
Beetlejuice. No, what was that?
What was the song?
What
is that song?
Work
your body.
Work it all the time.
I was like, what is that song?
Shake, shake, shake,
Sonora.
shake your body line. Okay, we don't know. Go ahead.
It was very common for them to
these drinks are going down smooth.
We may be drinking during these episodes. We apologize.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
So it was very common for them to hear furniture dragging across the attic floor or for rooms to turn suddenly cold. On a few occasions, an old woman was seen fixing her hair in the upstairs bathroom when no old woman was actually in the house. The activity began soon after the family moved into the home. Windows rattled and lights traveled throughout the home. At first, they thought the disturbance was due to trains traveling across the train bridge located near the home. They lived in the home for some time before they realized the activity occurred when there were no trains moving past. After researching the history of the home, they discovered a chilling tale of a family who had been murdered on the riverbank by a drifter many years before. They felt the guests in their home were members of that family, keeping an eye on the new residents. One incident involved the teacher and his son. They had gone to the house to keep watch while his parents were out of town. He said he was lying on one bed and his son was across the room in another. The teacher had been having trouble sleeping due to a personal concern.
Yeah, this teacher has trouble sleeping too, especially after all these stories. Go ahead.
He felt his son sit up on the edge of the bed and pat him on the hip. He was lying on his side with his back to his son's bed. He rolled over to tell his son that he was okay and realized that his son was not there.
No.
The boy was still asleep in the other bed. The teacher rolled back onto his side and his hip was patted once again. By this point in his life, he was used to the activity of the captain, as they referred to the entity. So the experience didn't frighten him. Their experiences with the entity had always been positive, and in one situation, it may have even saved the lives of his children.
Listen to me. If the captain pats me on the hip at night, the captain should know he probably should have a waterproof suit on because I'm going to pee all over him. Like, there is no way.
No.
There's no way. If I felt somebody pat me on the hip.
And nobody's there.
I don't even know. I can't even tell you what I would do. What would I do?
Ooh, that gives me goosebumps.
I've got them now. I've got the chibbles. I've got the chibbles. You chill bumps, goosebumps, chibbles. I got the chibbles.
I got the chibbles.
I got the chibbles all over. Look.
I got the chibbles. One summer when the teacher's children were small, the family had gathered at his parents' home for a cookout. His father had been working on an old car parked uphill from the house. He and his siblings were talking in the yard while their children played in the yard beside the porch. Suddenly, the car began rolling towards the children.
Hush up.
He said he and his siblings saw the car moving and ran, yelling and screaming for the children to get out of the way. At that point, the children were instantly on the porch and the car rolled past without injuring anyone. He said it was not possible for the children to have made the climb that quickly without help. So in one instant, they were running toward the kids. They're like, move out of the way, move out of the way. He said in a blink of an eye, they were on the porch. Just, bam, teleported. Bam. When they reached the kids, they asked them how they moved so quickly. The children told them someone had lifted them to the porch. They didn't know who had done it, and the teacher and his siblings hadn't seen no one else near them. The brother who graduated in my class has seen the ghost on at least 2 different occasions. Once, while in high school, he was shaving in the bathroom and noticed a white fog behind him in the mirror. Nope. Turn your vent fan on. He turned around and the fog drifted from the bathroom, down the hallway, and up to the attic. On another day, he was sitting in the living room when the fog came into the room, went around the room and near the ceiling before going out the window and up to the attic again. On another occasion, the teacher's father was awakened in the night by his bed shaking. Once he awoke, he realized the phone was ringing. He answered it and was told a relative had died. Another evening, while the teacher's parents were out of town, he went to their house to make sure things were secure. He turned on the upstairs bathroom light to give the appearance that someone was home. And we do this, like anytime you go anywhere, you leave a couple lights on. When he
Unless you're like me and I leave everything on TV.
She's scared. She's scared.
Every light in the house is on. There is a...
We would get yelled at leaving... We don't waste that electricity at my mom and daddy's house.
Now I pay the electric bill, and if I have to pay $40 extra not to be afraid, guess what?
You're paying $40.
Turn it on. Turn it on.
Now, he said when he left the house to drive home, he glanced back toward the bathroom window and noticed the light was out. So he goes back into the house and turned the light on again, only to discover it was back off by the time he made it to his car. Once more, he went up to the bathroom and switched the light on. However, this time, he said aloud, "We need to leave the light on so people will think someone is home and not break in." When he returned to the car, the light stayed on and was still on when he returned the next day. Whoever or whatever is occupying the house on the river seems to be watching out for the home and the occupants.
Well, I tell you what I do. Listen, I leave my lights on, my TV is on. Sometimes I'm awake, sometimes I'm not. But I tell you what I leave my TV on. I leave my TV on Fox News. Ask me why.
Why?
I leave my TV on Fox News because if people come in and they're like, "Oh, she's watching Fox News," 100% this lady is loaded with guns. If this woman is watching Fox News, she's got all the guns
She's crazy.
in every room, and she is not afraid to use them.
She is not.
And when I tell you, they're everywhere.
That's right.
I don't have little children. Now, if I had little children come in, but just so you know, Ghost, if you were in this house, turn it to the Fox News.
Turn it to the Fox News.
People will know I ain't playing.
We ain't playing. We ain't playing over here in Appalachia.
I ain't playing.
So we could all use that kind of help, even if it is from the other side. So that was Jade's story. And on to the next one.
Okay, so I don't have much to say about that.
Okay.
Just other than I don't have much to say about that. The mist floating through the air and then going up into the attic and all this stuff.
Look, it gives me the chills.
It doesn't give me chills. It doesn't give me the chills. I guess it doesn't because I don't get the chibbles because I don't believe in it.
I'm very open-minded, and we've had this discussion time and time again. You believe that anything paranormal activity like that is demonic. I feel like there could be situations where there are a restless soul. Where
I don't know. One time, I don't even know if I want to say this now that I thought about it, but you know how things pop in your head.
Yeah.
My brother had messaged me a story.
Okay. Was it something that had happened?
He had listened to one of our stories.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know if I can tell you that.
Okay. Well, don't. This is not a sad time. I'm going to go ahead with my story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I will. He told me, he was like, "You don't believe in that?" He said, "Sis, you're crazy. You don't believe in that." And I said, "Point, I don't believe in that."
Yeah.
You know, Bub, I don't believe in that. And he thought I was insane for not believing in that.
Yeah. I think there are things, I think there some people or some souls linger. I do believe that. And I think they can talk to us from beyond if there's a need.
I don't think they can.
If there's a need. And I can tell you a personal story.
Well, you're going to have to because this is what this is.
I'm just going to hold on then. This is my personal deer tale. When I was in middle school, my grandfather got hit by a coal truck and died.
Is this, okay, can I ask you a question about this? And then you cut it out if it's not.
Yeah.
Is this the one where the ambulance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to tell him the whole story?
I'm going to tell him the whole story.
The ambulance and everything, because that is the craziest story I've ever heard.
So, I was in the 6th grade, going to Crum Elementary. Or Crum Middle School. Hey, yo.
Hi, Crum.
What's up, Crum? And it was December the 13th. And what?
Elisa,
What?
what happened on December the 13th?
Your wedding
That's
anniversary?
my wedding anniversary.
Yeah. Yeah. But we come to the intersection of Tulsa High School and Moses Fork, and there is an accident. They're flagging traffic. And there's an ambulance there, and we can physically see them loading a body up into the ambulance. And I'm pretty sure at the time it was me, and I think it was Matt. I'm going to say his last name. I don't think he'll care. Matt Williamson. I think me and Matt was sitting beside each other on the bus. And we both looked over, just like, oh my gosh. When we first seen the truck, we were like, nobody could live through that. And we seen them load him with the sheet over him into the ambulance. Well, a little bit later, I'm at school, and my aunt was the bus driver. And she come and she signed me out. Turns out it was my grandfather. He had been hit and killed by that bus. And I didn't recognize the truck from the where they use the fire extinguisher to put it out. Like, it looked cream color where instead of gray, like where it had caught fire. But anyways, long story short, we have his funeral, and my mother takes his wedding band, and we bury him. And
I feel like this is an inappropriate time to tell
to say
you
bury.
that you messed up the word again.
I feel like it wouldn't be authentic if you didn't correct me.
Okay, so I know we're talking about Pawpaw.
Yeah.
But I'm going to need you to fix that.
Okay, so we buried. No, buried.
Yes.
We buried him.
You did not bury your
We
Pawpaw.
buried. I buried my pawpaw.
Okay, sorry about your loss. I'm sorry about that, but you need to fix it.
But we buried him, and my mom struggled for a little while about taking that ring off his finger because he'd never taken it off. In all the years that him and my grandmother were married, he never removed his ring. So she was like, I really wish I wouldn't have done that. You know, the grave's covered. You know, what's done is done. Well, the next morning, me, my sister, and my mother, we are sitting on the porch, and we're talking, and I don't know if it was who it was, but we talked about a dream that we had. And that dream was, we were sitting on the porch. My grandpa drove around the curve of our house, drove in front of the house, and he honked the horn. His little Toyota truck, and he looked over, just big and happy as he could be, and he was just waving, you know, just super excited, and beeped and went on the way. And I look over, and my mother and my sister, they're literally bawling because they dreamed the exact same thing. So we took it as that was his way of letting my mom know that it was okay. She could keep the wedding band.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't believe it, because I believe you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I believe.
Whether or not that
happened.
was our subconscious.
Yeah, but to have 3 dreams like that.
That's what I thought. It was really freaky.
I guess Bub was probably right, and there is stuff beyond. I think that, like I've said many times, I don't believe in it because it's easier for me not to believe in it.
And be scared.
Discount it.
Yeah.
Than me to be scared.
Yeah.
And get wrapped up in it.
I get that.
You know.
I get that.
Also, apologies for making you fix your words.
It's okay.
In your Pawpaw story.
But that was my own personal deer tale. So the next one, it's called It Followed Me Home.
Jeez. Yes, please. Let's go to that one. It followed me home.
Yeah, it followed me home.
Listen, sometimes it follows me home. Nope.
Hey, ladies, love the podcast. You can call me Sheila. Little background on me. I grew up in a small town mining town in West Virginia. Me and my family have always been fans of the paranormal and have been to multiple locations in the state and out of our own paranormal investigations. Some locations included the Trans-Allegheny Asylum, Moundsville Penitentiary, Bel Air House in Ohio. Every location, way typically the same, pictures of orbs, small, slight sounds, quick EMF spikes, just your typical ghost hunt.
Okay, can I just say that I think orbs, and this is not discounting or whatever, discrediting Sheila.
Dust. It's dust reflections.
It's dust.
Absolutely.
I think there's an excuse for it. I like the stuff where there's not an excuse for it. But go ahead. The orbs are a freckle of dust.
I agree with you on that.
It's a freckle of dust.
So, however, out of all the locations we've been to, one place is the only location that has really struck fear in me, and it was only 10 miles from my home. This place was a graveyard where a couple of very old family members were buried at. It was on top of a mountain about 5 to 7 miles away from civilization, cell service, or paved roads. To get here, you would need a side-by-side or a four-wheeler, as the road turns into dirt after the last house on this holler road.
God, I love a good holler road.
Those are like the best, like four-wheeling.
Scott asked me the other day, he's like, where did you get all the mud from this Jeep? I said, Mom and Dad's. It's been raining for 5 days.
Yeah.
And he was like, gosh, there's so much mud. And I was like, we live in West Virginia. It is nothing but mud.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
The trail leading up to the mountain is very rugged. It has massive rocks, ruts, and is about a 60-degree incline, roughly. The graveyard used to overlook an old mining town about 100 years ago, which has all been destroyed or removed since then, and nothing is there but dense forest. The only structure that stands for miles around that area is a memorial sign for the miners that had died there, and they estimated that to be around 80 people.
What year was this?
It doesn't say a year.
She didn't say a
She
year.
said about 100 years ago.
We've had, speaking of that, not to interrupt the podcast again, but it's what I do.
Well, this is more of a laid-back conversational episode.
We've had a lot of, in my lifetime, news stories where miners have been trapped and stuff because we are
we're from a mining town
and a mining community, and even though it's not as prevalent as it used to be, and our miners get trapped and stuff, and that holds a special place in my heart because I know so many miners, and and it is good money. They go underground, and it is good money for around here. And when you live in a town like this or a place like this, a lot of the times the only work is mining, and these men.
Yes.
I actually don't know any women miners. I'm sure there are some, but I'm going to say men. But these men and women go. They go underground, and it's dangerous.
They are literally risking their life.
Yeah.
I come from a background. My grandfather that I just talked about, he was on his way home, he was on his way home or going to or from. Yeah. He worked at the mines. Yeah. That's what he did, and that's what my uncle did. And
you see it on the news, and they get trapped, and they say they can hear banging and stuff, and I just, my heart bleeds. I don't know if I'll believe this story before you even get into it, but Sheila, whoever you are, because I don't know, because these come to Elisa. Yeah. My heart is with you on this one.
It's tough, and it's not always due to neglect or, my uncle was a mine inspector, and he was a good one. He didn't let anything slide by. He was very strict, and I'm sure he made a lot of enemies, with management, but hopefully I'd like to think that he saved a lot of lives.
Right.
So
like I said, regardless of what she's getting ready to say and what I'm going to say, regardless, my heart goes out to you.
Yeah, it's a tough profession.
The miners in our community, and in Ohio and Pennsylvania and Maryland, and the miners in Appalachia. And we really do love you here, and God bless you.
Yes, absolutely. Growing up, my family would get together and go there to investigate overnight before I was even old enough to go. Once I was high school age, I went with my family on these investigations to that graveyard on top of a mountain, as I have already been going to all those different locations that I previously mentioned. From the first time I went, I discovered why my family seen interest in this place. Out of the 4 to 5 times that I've been there to investigate with my family, I have heard blood-curdling screams, running through the brush, train car collisions, voices with full sentences, touched, grabbed, pushed, pictures of full body apparitions, seen streaks of bright colorful lights, growls, multiple shadow figures, constant temperature fluctuations, just about insanity. We would get very intelligent responses using the EMF meter by asking yes or no questions. The way those works is you ask the entity a question, and it will light up if the answer is yes.
You know what? Does anybody have an EMF thing?
I've got one in my Amazon cart for when we go doing some
because
things.
Here's
we get
the thing.
one.
Oh, right. I don't even know if I just don't. I've got some friends.
They're pretty inexpensive.
You know what? I've got some friends who they used to do some ghost hunt.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say their names on here because I know they listen to the podcast, but I don't know if they want that out there, because I think that sometimes that's a taboo thing. But I don't think, that meter could go off at any time. How does it read that? I just think that's so...
I don't know with the science, just because in my mind, I know that we as a living human being, we have energy.
Sure.
We have energy that we put off, whether that's negative energy, whether that's positive energy. And I think that is what happens is these readers pick up on the energy that's in the room.
Here's what I keep going back to. And I know that I've said this a few times. Maybe I need to call my dad and put the phone up here and let him explain it to me, because my father is the end all and be all for me.
Seems pretty awesome.
Especially when it comes to church things.
Yeah.
And I have always been told, and I think this is our Appalachian roots coming back to me.
It probably is
that to be absent from the body is to be
present with the Lord.
So, how? Like, I just don't understand how. It can't. I believe in God so incredibly much.
I do too. Absolutely.
That I just don't understand how. It doesn't make sense to me. Here's what I want. I want somebody to prove it to me in the Bible.
Yeah.
And
I think it's unfinished business. I think if you are right with the Lord, and I think that if you died, I don't know, of cancer, natural causes, I think you're right. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. But I think if it was a traumatic incident, it's hard. I could see how it would be hard for your soul or your spirit to accept the fact that you're no longer here.
Can we call my dad?
We can call your dad.
Can we call Dad and have him explain this to us? And then he will not want to be on the podcast, but then we can paraphrase what he says to us.
Yeah.
Not to say, you know what, I'm going to believe whatever he says 100%. You do not have to.
Right.
But it helps me understand.
Just a different perspective.
Because I don't understand.
Yeah.
I just don't understand these readers and stuff. And I can almost already tell you what my dad's going to say. I can already almost tell you. And sometimes I want to believe because I have lost
so many good people,
especially
Absolutely.
This year. Yeah. At the beginning of the year when we took time off and stuff, and I'm already you can already see my eyes.
Yep,
I've lost so many people this year. So the thought of them leaving me signs would be
amazing.
Don't
cry on me.
I know, but I can't wrap my mind around.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I took a picture of a cardinal the other day. I was sitting outside. I took a picture of a cardinal and posted on Facebook, and I was like, look how beautiful this little cardinal is.
Yep.
Just
it's a loved one visiting.
And somebody goes, that's a loved one visiting.
That's an Appalachia thing.
I understand it's an Appalachian thing, but it's not to me. That's not. It's
it
a cardinal.
doesn't mean to you. Yeah.
It's not.
Well, let me tell you something.
Visiting.
Another deer tale. I'm going to throw this out there too. So, as you know, my daughter, she has been doing pageantry. We had the Wayne County Fair pageant this past weekend, which she won Teen Queen. Congratulations, Zoe.
Can't wait to go see her.
Proud of you. However, it was an emotional day for her. And she cried on me a couple times. And I know she doesn't listen to the podcast, so I'm going to tell it anyways. But there was a woman there who, I think she was a mom to one of the other contestants who won. I think her name's Holly. And she wore her hair very much like Mama Linda. And Zoe told me that she smelled like Mama Linda. And there were several instances throughout the day that my daughter either smelled her, felt her, could just feel her presence. And Linda would have been absolutely so darn excited.
Yes, she would have.
For Zoe to be in a beauty pageant and come home with that title.
Linda would have jumped up, and
Linda was there with her.
Yeah.
On that day. There's not a doubt in my mind that she was there.
Smell is the first thing, you're I forgot the voice and stuff, but my papa's been gone for 20 years. At 19 years, and I was in Walmart, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, And I was just walking in Walmart, and I smelled him.
You smell him. Yeah.
And I smelled him to the point that it was so perfect. Maybe this is my own deer tail. I smelled him, and I immediately I couldn't swallow.
Yeah, you couldn't
get that
breathe.
lump in my throat.
It's a punch to the gut.
I left my buggy there, and I had like a lot of groceries because at that moment, I had to get out of there because I knew he wasn't there, but I smelled him, and I had to get out of there because at that moment.
That memory was so real.
Yes.
It was so real. I've been there before. I've done that before.
We need to get back on this story because I've already teared up once, and yeah.
So back
to the story.
So basically, the way the monitors work is it will light up for yes, and it doesn't do anything for no. So when we weren't asking questions, the meter stayed pegged on the highest level it can go for 30-minute intervals sometimes. Now keep in mind there's no overhanging transmission power lines nor service of any sort. So they're out in BFE. There's nothing around.
For our listeners that are not from around here, BFE means bum effed Egypt.
Egypt means,
which just means like out in the middle of nowhere is what BFE means.
So, it was paranormal. It was a paranormal investigator's dream location, but there was one spot in the graveyard that was just different. The graveyard is divided into plots all the way across the top of this mountain. Some graves were out of a plot in the middle of thick brush. Some were sunken in about 2 to 3 feet, which freaks me out, but I understand why they sink. Like the dirt settles, but when you walk up to like a grave and you see like it's sunk, like it's just, I feel like it's kind of eerie.
Well, when they sink like that, you usually have a mound of dirt beside of them.
Right.
And then and too, around here, another thing that you will need to know, and I know that a lot of people that, listen to us are not from here.
Yeah.
So what we do when we bury someone is that there's a mound of dirt.
Yeah.
And usually, and I know this happened with, I'm not going to say, but I'm just going to let it go. We hand bury someone.
Yeah.
And it's not because we can't afford it.
It's a respect thing.
It's because it's the last thing we can do for you.
For your loved one.
For your loved one. And it's not, you don't walk away.
Yeah.
It's the last thing you can do for your loved one. So when you're sitting there and you put all the dirt in there and then you wait and then you go back because the dirt settles.
It settles and then you add more dirt.
It's like, for lack of a better term, it's like a bag of chips. When they fill a bag of chips,
they put a little air in it.
It's full of air and everything, and the chips are all the way to the top.
And then they settle.
But then it settles, and you open, and you have a half a bag of chips.
Yep.
So, that being said, look at a grave as a half a bag of chips.
Yeah.
At first, it's all full, but then you have to go back and add more chips because it's settled.
Right.
Which is the worst analogy I've ever used in my life.
Now, of course, here in Appalachia, I'm sure all across the nation or the world, some of the tombstones are just rocks. Back in the day, they would just mark the graves with rocks.
Sure.
Most were dated from 1800 early to mid-1900s. The third plot over from our family spot was always where we got the most activity, but it was different. Being over there, I would feel sick. Some of us would be burned or scratched. The questions we would ask would get a response that we should be scared or to run. The spirits there would respond like they're afraid. We would ask if something evil is over here or demonic and would immediately get a maxed out EMF response of yes. Even on one occasion, and we carry firearms because it's in the middle of the woods, my brother had his holstered on his hip, and something tried to unholster his gun on 3 different occasions.
See, no.
One of the times so violently that he almost fell. When things would get violent or we all got a super weird feeling like something else or something demonic became present, we would leave. But overall, there was never an occasion where we were disappointed going home. Fast forward to present day, and we haven't been back there for several years to investigate. However, during that period, I was still fascinated with that third plot. I was an avid four-wheeler rider and would ride by myself sometimes and would often go there during the day alone. At that plot and around it, I would notice there were no bugs, no animals, no light, just the wind through the trees. I would go there alone a few times a year and just sit or walk around because the place just fascinated me. It got to the point where I would get exceedingly angry if someone in my family mentioned investigating there, and we ended up not going. Little did I know what I was inviting. Fast forward to recently, last year, activity began in my house. Doors opened, strange dreams, footsteps, banging. I was touched or grabbed while sleeping, and even during the day.
You can invite this stuff in your house. You can absolutely invite this stuff in your house.
Absolutely.
And that's what she's done.
There was knocks. Those knocks would come in fours for some reason. And you do hear that a lot of these stories that revolve around a demonic entity.
Hold on. Do you remember this from the very beginning of the story? Ready? What is this?
It's a poltergeist.
A poltergeist.
It's a knocking ghost. Look at that. See, I teach you all kinds of things on here.
I'll teach you the algebra.
So the knocks would come in fours for some reason. The room was constantly hot like a sauna, curtains moving, lights flashing. Once we all noticed this happening, we would sage the house weekly, salt the windows and door frames, and hang blessed cross above the doors.
You mean hung? We would we would hang. We would hang.
We would hang.
We hung.
We hung blessed cross above the doors.
I had someone ask me when we first bought this house if
you saged it,
if she could come and sage it, and I told her no. I told her no because I don't believe in that. I told her.
Right.
She was like, no, let's come and sage it. We're going to burn sage and say some stuff. I'm like, you ain't burning nothing is what you're doing. You ain't saying anything in my house because to me, when you do that, you're opening up for the bad stuff.
Right. Since then, there has been no recent activity. A couple odd days where something small would happen, but nothing in comparison to what was happening. Also, recently discovered from a bishop on TikTok that, quote, people often become obsessed by a location in the presence of the demonic. Learning that, I have not been back there, nor do I plan to. What do you think?
What do I think?
What do you think? That was a listener tale.
I just don't think you mess with stuff like that, and you don't invite stuff like that into your house.
I do think things can attach to you if you're not careful.
So, if you let your guard down,
yep.
Who is the? Oh, hold on a second. Cameron? No. Yeah.
Cameron Diaz.
No.
Not Diaz. Burr. Cameron Burr.
What's her name?
What's her last name? Cameron Burr. She was a DJ on Full House.
Yes, DJ on Full House.
I can't think of her last
Cameron
name.
Burr. I don't know what her name is. It's something. She had just done a podcast, and I saw it.
I heard about that,
but I didn't see it because I didn't listen to it.
I've not seen it yet.
I saw it on TikTok.
Yeah.
But she said that she does not let her family or anything watch any kind of scary movies in the house.
No, because it's a portal.
I don't know so much if it's a portal, but I think that it lets your guard down to where you're susceptible.
I think it opens up your energy and it allows things, because I do think that spirits
opens up your energy. I don't think there's an I don't believe in the energy stuff. I know my cousin Lisa would be like so mad at me right now.
I think that, and I think that if you're not, and I used to be obsessed. I used to watch, I loved scary movies until I got pregnant with Zoe.
Yeah.
And Clinton's mom and dad. Melinda was like, you can't watch that stuff.
I think so.
She was like, you cannot watch that stuff. She was like, you will mark that baby. And that's something we believe here, again, in Appalachia.
You can mark a baby.
You can mark a baby. So I've not really watched any of that stuff since I had my daughter almost 16 years ago.
So I do believe that you can absolutely mark a baby. You can mark them with the things that you let into yourself while you're pregnant.
Yep.
And allowing your guard to be down. I know that people are listening to this, they're like, oh my God, she don't believe in ghosts, but she's crazy. But my sister-in-law, She brought over. She is obsessed, and she's a Christian.
Yes.
But she loves scary movies.
Yes.
She loves
Yes.
them.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, I'm on the same page.
She brought over. It's been years. I tell you how long ago it was. It was a VHS tape. She brought over The Exorcist because I hate scary movies. Even
I do
back in the
not
day.
like that type of movie.
Right. So she brought it over. We all had our popcorn and stuff. Popcorn. We already had our popcorn.
I had a popcorn.
I was going to eat some popcorn. But we had our popcorn, and we were going to watch this movie, and I took it for what it was. It was a movie, right?
Right.
The girl in it, she spit pea
Possessed.
soup and all this stuff.
Yeah.
The girl crab walked backwards.
That bothers me.
Down the stairs.
Ugh.
I stopped immediately. I walked over to the VHS thing. I hit the EJ button, the eject, EGT or whatever, or EJT. I hit it. I took the tape out, and I said, when you leave, please take this with you.
And don't bring it back in my house.
I said, I don't want this in my house.
Yeah.
I don't think that like Freddy Krueger, those kind of Krueger, is going to open you up to that. But I think if you're watching a movie with demonic possession or something
with a
like
demonic
that,
theme or
puts your
undertone,
mind in a place to where, because I believe in demons,
absolutely,
that it puts your guard down, you know. And I don't know how to explain it. If you're not from here, I don't know how to explain it other than I don't let my guard down. Like, I'm always like my friend, and I love her dearly. She was like, let's sage your house. You know, we're gonna sage your house. It's a new house, and we're gonna say this stuff. And I'm like, no, we're not.
No, we ain't.
No, we are not.
No, ma'am.
I tell you what we can do. We can walk around and bless it with the Bible. That's what we can do.
You got any holy water?
Yeah. We can go ahead and sprinkle that stuff on. But I tell you what, you're not walking around with a wad of sage that I would put in a stuffing. Like, let me tell you what sage is for. It's for stuffing. It's for Thanksgiving stuffing. It ain't for anything else.
Or it's to make stuff smell good.
We ain't doing, don't you come at me with that. Don't you come at me with that, because I'm just not about that. Like, I'm not letting my guard down.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't want it around me. I don't think anything can cling on me, because honestly, I have God's armor on me so thick that I just don't think it could happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think a demon may look at me and be like, yeah, we're going to go somewhere else, because even if we did possess her, she would be like,
crazy.
Yeah, you ain't real.
You ain't happening.
You ain't real.
I do think that you do have to be open, and you have to, I think demonic-wise, I think it really targets those who are down on their luck.
I think it
who
happens
are already
with cults,
down.
like cults.
Yes.
Like, you open
They're
your
already
mind.
open.
Yes.
They're searching. They're actively searching for a reason to belong, or wondering why.
Yes.
So,
and I think maybe we've went off the rails here. Do you have another story? Is this last one? Was that the last one?
That's the last one.
Okay.
Yep.
I think too, like, you know, we talk about cults, and we've done several episodes on cults. And we think about that, and we think, okay, they're so depressed, and they're so lonely, and they're open to this, like the love has won, or the whatever that one thing was.
They're vulnerable.
Yeah, where they allowed, you know, these women were like, I don't want to be the man in a relationship, but they allowed the hormones and the sex changes to begin, and you know, just because they didn't want to be alone. And I think that not saying that that's the same thing, but when you get to a place like that demons,
they thrive on that.
They
see that, and they target you.
And they target the lonely and the brokenhearted and everything, because you've just not called out to the one who can help you.
Yep.
Not to make this into a religious podcast, because we try not to do that, but I'm just saying, like, that's where I believe. So we talk about stuff like that. Demons creep me out, but as far as being scared,
we know we got to Jesus.
Yeah, it doesn't really scare me, because yes, I believe in demons, and no, I'm not afraid of you. I'm just not.
So I hope you guys enjoyed our first ever Deer Tales episode. Be sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Watch for Deer Podcast. email us your deer tales so we can share it on our podcast. We can do that anonymously, or we can use your name.
We can use your name.
It's entirely up to you.
Like Sheila. Sheila who? It's not really Sheila. It could be Ashley, Beth,
could be,
Elizabeth.
We don't know. We don't know.
You don't
know it
know.
is Sheila.
You don't know.
Send us your stories, anything interesting, exciting. watchfordeerpodcast@gmail.com. Y'all be safe and watch for deer and diamonds.